So, Matt, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100,
Okay.
and I'll give you 3 chances to guess.
1 in 100. Okay. Well, I'm going to take the obvious number that everybody thinks of, 7.
Between 1 and 100? No.
So it's not 7.
No, I'm not crapping out.
18?
Good guess because my birthday's Friday, but no, not 18. One more.
77? Double perfection?
Well, nice try. 46.
46? The most random ass number ever. What, 46?
There's no significance right behind 46, right?
That was like Kevin Minner's number at LSU. But,
What's 46 days away?
LSU football.
That's right. The countdown begins to football season.
The one with 2 O's.
It's not the one with the U.
Yeah.
Now that this is over,
Yeah,
we can count down.
It's kind of bittersweet. Our cool World Cup set, it's going to be retired after tonight.
For another 4 years.
For another 4 years at least.
But this is episode 47 of the Matt Ryan Show.
That it is. I'm Matt. He, of course, is the birthday boy coming up.
Hey!
Ryan Landry. He'll join the 2-9 club like I did a few months back. It's not too shabby.
Yeah. If you'd asked me a year ago how I felt knocking on 30's door, I would have got pissed off at you and told you to shut up. And now it's like, you know what, whatever, we're almost 30. No big deal.
Oh, hell.
No big deal.
I got like barely over 100 days left for that.
Yeah, you're right. You really are.
But
a little bit of a different format tonight.
Yeah, first off, we're back from Colorado
this
week.
I had a great vicarious vacation through Matt.
Yeah.
I was there in spirit.
Exactly. But yeah, that was an interesting trip for sure. Very nice people in Colorado. They sure love their microbreweries, which is nothing wrong with that at all.
And their edibles.
Yes, and their edibles. You can just go to the vending machine and get their edibles.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Vending machine?
Oh, yeah, they have these stores that have it like in a vending machine now, as if you're buying a bag of Tostitos.
Wow.
It's pretty funny.
But what do we have on deck tonight, Matt?
Well, tonight's our second ever just fan mail show. We just kind of nothing really super significant going on. I mean, yeah, you got the Major League Baseball All-Star game, but compared to our audience, we figured we'd give them the forum tonight and just see what they want to ask. But we got a few questions tonight and a good wide variety of topics. So this should be an interesting one. But let's go ahead and start off, Ryan. The first one, of course, is everybody's still having the World Cup hangover, I guess. Goes, what is next for U.S. soccer, and what is their outlook for the 2018 World Cup?
Really?
Well,
really? They might have just gotten home from Brazil, and you're going to ask this question already. Ask me again in 3 years.
Yeah, I guess the answer to the first question, you got the Gold Cup coming up next year. They got a couple friendlies coming up later this year. Who knows if even be our A squad playing in that. They'll probably be most of our starters will be in the middle of their European and MLS seasons.
Glad you mentioned that.
And stuff like that. But the Gold Cup will be pretty significant next year because if U.S. wins it, in a way, they can almost take off the 2017 Gold Cup if they want it because they would have already qualified for the Confederations Cup because of the new format. Now, if the U.S. loses the 15 Gold Cup, then they're still in a playoff with whoever wins. Let's just assume Mexico would win it,
right?
Just for conversation's sake. Then in 2017, those two teams I think would play. I don't know if it's a one-game playoff or a best-of-3 type of playoff, but it's a new formula.
It would be like a home and home.
Yeah, or it might be like a home and home,
like aggregate score.
Right, it could very well be like that. I don't know if it's been decided yet, but it's some kind of playoff.
Okay,
that would be in 2017 to see who would get the Confederations Cup. But if you win the back-to-back World Cups, which for the U.S. would be 13 and 15, they're automatically in the Confederations Cup.
Nice.
Now, I'm sure they would still play in the Gold Cup, but it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Right.
And they can almost use it as a tournament to get guys more experience to get ready for 2018.
You said one thing that I had this conversation with somebody yesterday about the future of the United States men's national team. And Jurgen Klinsmann had said towards the end of the tournament that it is imperative for MLS and the pace of MLS to pick up if America was to be on the same level as the rest of the world as far as international play goes. Now, when you look at the MLS, it's a different league. It really is kind of like the D League as the NBA. But there's still a lot of talent coming in. I mean, you've got Thierry Henry for the New York Red Bulls, who's one of my favorite players. You've got Kaká, who's a AC Milan star. He was a star for Brazil. He's a Ballon d'Or, and I want to say the 2006 World Cup for Brazil. And he's got, I want to say, 3 Serie A championships with AC Milan, and he's now playing in Orlando City. But on the flip side, you've got Howard, who plays international. You've got Dempsey, who plays international.
Julian Green
international. Jermaine Jones international.
What? Speaking of Jermaine Jones, there's a rumor he may be coming to MLS.
Yeah, he's pushing for it.
I read that today.
So we've got, if you take our starting 11 from the majority of the tournament, more than half, if not all of them, play international ball.
Right.
And then you've got the young guys up the bench like Julian Green, who we saw the flash of brilliance against Belgium. You've got Zusi, you've got Wando, you've got a lot of these guys who are starting to get a lot of international experience both in club and country.
Now, what do you think happens with Yedlin? Because he's still with Seattle, right?
Oh yeah, he's still starting for the Seattle Sounders.
Now, you think he remains there, or you think he tries to go Europe? Because he's probably a starter in 18.
With the price that Europe will pay for him in a year, he goes across the pond. Okay. I think he stays in Seattle for the rest of this season. Yeah, he's young. Yeah, he's young, so he could really develop in a major club across the pond, whether it be England, Spain, Germany, Italy, France, wherever, one of those big name clubs in one of these 5 big countries that are known for premier soccer. Yedlin could really and truthfully develop into our next Landon.
2 guys that also come to mind that I think probably would benefit going to bigger clubs or more Premier Leagues in Europe. I think, especially as 2 really young guys for the U.S. is Aaron Johansson and Mix Discaru. Those are 2 guys very young, and yeah, they technically play overseas, but it's in leagues that make MLS look like UEFA. Also.
Yeah,
I mean, what is it,
right.
Poland and wherever Mix plays at.
But that's the good thing about Europe is these guys play in these leagues and they play across country borders all the time against other clubs, whether it be in Serie A, Serie B, or Serie C. In Italy or whatever it might be, to where they had the chance to move up. They had the chance to get promoted, and if you play on a team like Aston Villa, for example, who's always in the relegation promotion border, that you get the chance to move up as your team does better and into the next tier of competition in that respective country, to where they're afforded that opportunity to play against the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney and all of these premier names frequently. So you get to adjust to that pace, and then when you carry it back to the international level, when it's the United States men's national team versus France or England or Brazil or whoever, after 4 years of playing on that pace, you kind of expected the pace to be this way.
Absolutely. And, if we really are looking at 2018, the U.S., potentially, if some of these younger guys develop, they could remind me of being possibly a dark horse team, kind of like Belgium was this year. The U.S. could be a top 10 team in the world, and maybe a sleeper to try to, maybe a long sleeper, but a team that could easily make like a quarterfinal, maybe push a Final Four, depending on a draw and stuff like that. And also in 2 years, if assuming they qualify, a lot of those players on the 2018 team could be on the Olympic team. I mean, look at Mexico's team was very young, won the gold medal in the Olympics, and those guys finally started playing when they got the new coach, and they made a pretty impressive run to the World Cup.
They did.
In 14. So I could see something similar to that.
And you've got that same Mexican team that held listen when I say this, a healthy Brazil team, 0-0. We saw a completely different starting 11 with just the likes of Silva and Neymar out against Germany.
And probably should have beat the Netherlands.
They should have. If Neymar and Silva are healthy, they beat the Netherlands. But you take those 2 keys away, and I mean, that's the core of the team, But the downfall of that is, unlike Brazil, Germany had 15 guys that could start on anyone's international team. So you've got them all on that one team. You just move the puzzle pieces around, and the puzzle still fits.
And 2 things, along with ball control, of course, that are really killer in soccer, I think, are height and speed, and Germany has both. I mean, they just have a complete team, and best team won. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it.
Best team won.
But
We've got a lot of promise looking forward to Russia.
Yeah.
A lot of promise, but we'll see as the 2015 Gold Cup unfolds.
Exactly. We got that. We got the Olympics. We got the Federation Cup. We got a lot. Long
Gold Cups, a Confed Cup.
We got like 1,420 days before we gotta start worrying about.
So let's focus on the 2015 Gold Cup before we start looking to Russia.
Exactly. But speaking of football, the one with the double O's. The big news of the day. Today must have been signing day.
Yes, it was. It was the end of the franchise tag deadline.
Right.
3 p.m. today was the franchise tag deadline.
And this was also the first day that NBA teams could officially start signing.
True.
With trades. But what effect does Jimmy Graham signing today with the Saints have short-term and long-term?
Nothing.
I think the short answer to that, well, yeah, that too. I think the Saints have basically put all their chips in at the poker table and are going all in 2014. If fans were upset about the Saints getting rid of guys like Darren Sproles and Lance Moore last year, it's going to be worse next year because that's going to be the sacrifice of paying Jimmy Graham $10 million a year.
Yep.
Priority one next year is going to be keeping Cam Jordan, I think.
Yep. I agree.
I think we're going to lose a couple of those guys, young guys on the defense. Not Vaccaro, but you may lose a guy like Junior Gillette and Akeem Hicks and all that stuff because you're putting all your money into a tight end. I like Jimmy Graham and all, but if you're going to pay the man, that's fine. But the time to do it for the Saints is this year.
Here's the interesting facet about Jimmy Graham and the contract is it's 4 years, $40 million. It's 10 a year, $21 million guaranteed. So that leaves some wiggle room on restructuring because he wanted a long-term deal. 4 years isn't a long-term deal.
Right.
So you've got Drew, who's got at least 4 years left in New Orleans. Drew's going to retire a Saint.
Right. He's got what's left on the deal? Is it 3 years left on the current deal that he's got?
Was it 5 years when he signed?
I think it was
because it was 6 years and it's 4.
Take it back. It was 5 years for $100 million.
5 for $100.
So he's got two left, I think.
3.
Is it 3?
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. So he's got three left.
So he's got 3 left.
So you've got restructuring and wiggle room for Jimmy Graham to give him a longer contract and give Drew one final contract possibly. That could make salary cap space moving forward in 2015. But ESPN has already given the Saints the dark horse tag of the team, one of the teams to beat this year. The defense is only going to be better.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham caught over 1,000 yards. Drew threw for 5,000 plus. 1,000 of that alone went to Jimmy Graham. We knew Jimmy was staying. He wasn't going anywhere.
Right. He was either going to play under the tag or something.
And I'm okay with paying him the $10 million this season as long as one thing happens. When we play the likes of Seattle, San Francisco, these shutdown defenses, he doesn't just disappear. I don't particularly think Jimmy Graham is worth $10 million when it comes to those big games. It's been shown that in 13 of 16 games, Jimmy Graham is untouchable.
He's not the greatest blocker either.
No.
If we're going with complete tight ends here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Big Jimmy Graham fan. Hell of a playmaker. Very valuable asset to the Saints offense.
16 touchdowns.
Is he worth $10 million a year?
No.
We'll find out soon enough, I guess.
No. Is he worth $10 million this year? I think so. I think so.
Possibly, yes.
I don't think he's worth $10 million over the next 4.
I think also one move that's going to clear the cap next year. This might be the last year you see Marcus Colston.
You're right, which is going to be a heartbreaking thing to think of because Marcus Colston's been, the bread and butter of the Saints for 7, 8 years now.
Let's see. This will be his 9th season.
Wow.
I had to make sure I had the math right. Yeah.
05?
06 season, so I was making sure I had it right. So you'd have
you're right. 8 years, 9 seasons.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 14.
This will be his 9th season. That's wow. That's incredible.
That's crazy.
He's another one that might take a restructured deal to stay in black and gold. He might.
Maybe.
He might. It'll be interesting to see. But long-term effects, like we just said, salary cap cuts that are going to have to happen next season. Junior Gillette. Cam Jordan needs to stay. Gillette might have to go. Akeem Hicks might have to go.
Yeah, they're going to be due for bigger contracts. We can't afford everybody.
No. We're not the Yankees, and there is a salary cap in football, unfortunately.
And that's why football is great.
Yep.
It's parity every year, and it keeps it fair.
Yep.
The NBA is finally starting to get back to that with their more strict salary cap.
That's why the Cowboys have been 8-8 for the past 5 years, and Jerry Jones has more money than the United States of America.
He has his own jar, though.
And Switzerland put together.
But Yeah, I was talking to Archie Manning this weekend. No, actually, it actually did happen. He was in Thibodeau, but
I saw it.
Briefly talked to him and had a chance to just ask him a quick question, because he was doing his little public relations tour and everything. But he said, and I quote, he thinks this on offense, defense, full 53-man roster. He thinks this is the most talented Saints team ever.
It could be. It very well could be.
He said, including 2009 and 2011. So expectations are high this year for the Saints, and I think they probably think it themselves more. Like Sean Payton, him, Breeze, they're thinking Super Bowl.
Oh, they think Super Bowl every year, but they really and truthfully have a realistic, very good chance. Like if you're a betting person, go to Vegas and put $100 down on the Saints.
Yeah, Saints are definitely in your top 5 Super Bowl.
Yes,
this
yes,
year for sure.
The defense says it all because the offense we already know is there.
Right,
we already know is there. I'm excited to see Brandon Cooks.
Absolutely. But we'll get more than that,
as it gets closer.
When we get to the Saints. We can't give away too much for that.
Nope, not yet. Hell, we have the report from minicamp coming up soon.
Yeah, it's next week, I think.
They're going to West Virginia.
But they'll be over there in West Virginia. Yeah. Hey, if any of our loyal kind of sponsors want to fly us up there, we'll be more than glad to do it.
Lucy's.
Anyway, stick with the New Orleans teams and signing day. The Pelicans offered deals today to Russ Smith, and the trade was official for Omer Asik, who sounds like Ivan Drago.
Right.
During his press conference today. Yay or nay on the signings? I say yay on both.
I don't know anything really truthfully about Asik, so I can't say neither here nor there. But I can say I think Russ Smith gets 2 thumbs up. I was really stoked when we picked him up. As a big Louisville fan, I watched him play in the 2013 national championship.
Yeah.
And this guy plays his heart out on the court day in day out.
He's played well.
He's
played well in the summer league as well.
Yes,
he just seems like a floor general.
Yeah.
Kind of can manage the game. Asik is a guy. He's a young center. I think this is his 4th or 5th year in the league from Turkey. But the thing is, he was pretty solid for Houston, and then they go and sign Dwight Howard, so he gets stuck on the bench. But when he's a full-time starter, he's a guy that's capable of getting you 10 to 12 points and 10 to 12 rebounds.
I'll take 12 and 12.
And putting him with Anthony Davis, I think, will help both of them. It'll take a little bit of pressure off Davis, but he can still go balls to the wall. We actually have a legitimate center to dish the ball to. We don't have to throw it to...
Who's the white guy? I can't think of his name.
Withy?
No.
Jason Smith?
No. The center that we had that was terrible.
Oh, Steensma.
Yes.
He's no longer on the team.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I think you got a Jeff Withy guy that'll be improved.
Kansas.
He got better. Yes, Kansas. Njika, that guy from France, is 7'2". It's just another big body. So they'll have some big bodies there. I think Jason Smith will be gone. He'll be a casualty, I think. But because
as a matter of fact, no, Jason Smith is a casualty. He signed with the Knicks today, 1 year, $3.3 million.
Okay,
so I got that update on the way here.
That's good for him. That's good money. Yeah. But I think it was good signings, but the Pelicans have got to stay healthy.
That's what killed us last year. Yep. We would have been a playoff team last year if we would have stayed healthy. We have a legitimate chance to be a 4 or 5 seed in the East. I mean, no. If we were in the East. Excuse me, I forget we're in the West.
They're a playoff team if they stay healthy in the West.
Yeah, well, as a 7 or 8, but still the West is so loaded.
Yeah, and then we'll play Oklahoma City
or the Spurs
or Clippers, type of thing. Yeah,
right.
The damn Spurs.
Are they ever going to retire?
What is it, Popovich? I think just signed another 4-year deal or something.
Pop can stay all he wants. Let Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and all of them go. But then you got Kawhi Leonard, who got MVP of the finals. Who wasn't even part of the Big Three conversation.
They always plug in place.
They really do.
They are good.
It's a franchise, man. Moving on.
Back to football. This is going to be the question that's asked over and over and over and over the next 46 days.
Until Labor Day weekend.
Who will win the LSU quarterback battle and start Wisconsin? The easy answer to that is A.J. Jennings. I think Brandon Harris eventually takes over, possibly during the regular season down the line. I just don't see there's any way Les Miles starts a true freshman the first game of the year at a neutral site. But I think both will play.
Yeah, what he said. I had to really battle about this one because before we got live, I really thought Brandon Harris. But Thinking about opening the season.
I think Harris has more potential, but
yeah. I think opening the season, Jennings will get the nod, especially the way he played against Arkansas, and he managed to pull off the W against Iowa. But we need more out of a quarterback.
But the spring game, Brandon Harris was
like lit up. Yeah.
In fact, 2 weeks, episode 50, that'll be our LSU football preview show. We'll actually kind of do some analyzing there. We got some film that we took back at the spring game. We can kind of
break it down.
Almost look like Sports Center.
Break it down. Yeah, we hit you with the D-Generation X. Yep. Speaking of wrestling.
We'll save the recruiting question for last. But Sunday is Battlegrounds pay-per-view. One of our buddies wants to know who you think is going to win the WWE title. The main event is a fatal four-way. John Cena is the champ, defending against Kane, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns.
Matt, before we answer this question, I need to know something.
Okay.
Are you a supporter of the United States military?
Yes, of course. We salute America after every show.
All right. Are you a supporter of the United States Marine Corps?
Yes. That's the elites of the armed forces.
Yeah. Don't let the other armed forces hear you say that, but nonetheless. So, with that,
we don't disrespect any.
Hold on. With that being said, I think there's a decorated veteran this Sunday night who needs your support.
Needs our support?
Yes. John Cena.
Yes.
Yes. John Cena.
John Cena. Yeah. The simple answer.
He retains the title.
If any of our viewers don't get that joke, just go YouTube. Or Google, because Google owns YouTube. John Cena prank phone call. You can hate wrestling with a passion. You will love it because it's quite possibly the greatest one
of the best prank phone
calls in the history ever.
Take 6 minutes out of your day, and you'll thank us later.
Yeah. It's still funny when I still almost tear up from laughing, and I've heard it probably at least 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Same here. I was curled over laughing this weekend, and we listened to it like 4 times. And then quoted it the entire weekend.
Yes, of course.
And then quoted it the entire weekend.
Absolutely. Final fan mail question. How is LSU's baseball recruiting looking? Well, July 19th is D-Day because that's the final day that they can sign with major league teams. LSU potentially could get 11 out of 12. The big name that fans are getting nervous with right now is this guy, Mac Marshall. He's one of their biggest recruits coming in, but he's a stud pitcher. He's left-handed, can hit mid-90s. But the Astros are making a late run at him. And depending on if the Astros sign their top pick or not, which they're still negotiating, which I think they will sign him, but I was reading this on Tiger Droppings earlier today, that the top pick in the Major League Draft might have a slight injury, so the Astros are kind of maybe lowballing him a little bit, which is a smart business decision on their part. But that also frees up more money for them to throw it at Mac Marshall and give him more guaranteed money. But he's on campus. He says his heart's at LSU, but Zach Lee said the same thing.
Truth.
But
Mac Marshall was the one who said, if I don't get drafted in the first round, I'm coming to Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, and then Bregman said that 2 years ago as well.
And Bregman
stuck to his word. He stuck to his word. But potentially, it could be the top class in the country.
Yeah.
If we get 11 out of 12, it probably will be. And also up in the air is what's going to happen with LSU's hitting coach.
You went there. I was waiting for it. I was going to say everyone do the happy sombrero dance because Javi Sanchez is finally out of Baton Rouge.
Well, I don't know if he'll be out of Baton Rouge. He might be working in business in Baton Rouge.
Oh, dude, he's out of Alex Box Stadium.
He's out of Alex Box Stadium.
That's all that freaking matters. Adios.
JB was a happy man.
No, we were all happy, man. I think we all did the happy dance that day. Thank God. Adios, senor.
Yeah, rumor is the guy Cannizzaro played for Tulane, very solid player for them back in the early 2000s. Local boy. Is one of the leading scouts for the Yankees. Actually, kind of takes care of the New Orleans, Mississippi area for them. But he's a respected guy, and he's rumored to get the job. But we'll probably know more about that in a couple of weeks. Short answer, though, to the question is potentially really good. Now, as far as their outlook as a team,
we'll see once they hit time and start practicing.
Let's see what happens at fall ball and all kinds of other stuff like that first. But that's all we had as far as fan mail tonight. Ryan, do you have anything before we go for tonight? It's kind of just a whatever show.
Not really.
Derek Jeter's 2 for 2 in the All-Star game in his last one ever.
I think it's really cool.
Good for him.
I gotta say, as a Yankees fan, I think it's really cool that every series that he goes to, that he'll never play again. Like, you know, he went to the Angels and they only played one series with him all season, and they gave him something. His house is gonna be loaded with shit from 31 different series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I forgot what the Astros had gave him, but I know the year before Mariano Rivera, what they did is they made a rocking chair, like a grandpa rocking chair, out of bats that he's broken.
Oh, nice.
And it's kind of custom made. It was pretty legit.
Nice.
They were showing it to him before the game, and he was laughing at that. So he thought it was pretty funny. Hey, I'd like a rocking chair.
Yeah, baseball bat.
Yeah, you can put that laminate plastic on it, like some bars do with redwood trees that they just cut. So in fact, this bar in Breckenridge, it's a new one, just opened in May that Kevin and I went to. And first thing we loved about it was the bar itself, but it's took one of those trees that they cut down there, and then they'll put this plastic like laminate over it. Where it's just a cool looking bar. Yeah. It's not straight or anything like a dining room table or anything like that. It's just the regular shape of the tree. They just put a laminate so you don't get a splinter or anything like that. But I
know one person who would like that baseball rocking chair. Blanche would like that. Blanche would, except if it was Mariano Rivera. He'd rather it be like John Maddox.
What if we got Yasiel Puig to sign it?
Oh, totally, dude. Yeah, we should get Puig to sign it.
Puig, to my favorite fan, Blanche. Sign Yasiel Puig.
Blanche hates Yasiel Puig more than we hate Roddy White and Julio Jones put together. It's kind of true though.
We should play the what's the game? Kill one, marry one, and
I forgot what it was.
Usually the third one's kind of whatever you want.
I forgot what it was.
Or we can just play the two. We got to kill one, marry one for Blanche. Nick Saban and Yasiel Puig.
Oh.
I don't think there's a right answer.
Yeah, no, there's no right answer to that. There's not, especially with him. But with that being said, you got anything else?
That's all I really got for tonight. But
this guy's hungry.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm getting sick of myself. But episode 50 is just 3 weeks away. I think we're gonna try to do a road show for that. Do a Matt versus Ryan challenge, which we're gonna try to hit 85 mile per hour fastballs because that's the fastest that the Celebration Station has, but you know what? That's fast enough.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky if we even get contact on one. In fact, I remember we were talking the rules. 1, bunting is not allowed.
Oh, duh,
and 2, I think for it to count as like a legit contact, it can't hit the nets. It has to like go forward.
It has to leave the batter's area.
It has to leave the batter's area.
Jesus Christ.
That should be.
I'm warning you guys now. Don't make fun of me if I jump out the way.
Hey, you never know those pitching machines. They're not always accurate.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Especially at Celebration Station.
Right.
It's not like we're going to Marucci or anything like
right.
that. But we'll do that. We'll probably preview LSU football for that show. I mean, it's 50. We got to go big for that one.
Yup.
And who knows? Maybe we'll do it from LSU's campus somewhere. Maybe we can sneak into the stadium. That'd be kind of cool.
Done it before.
I'll never tell. They can't prove that.
No, they can't. Plus, I think the statute of limitations or something like trespassing is a lot less than 10 years. And then August would make it 11 years. So,
well, Cafalfo will be able to.
Oh yeah, we'll call Cafalfo.
Maybe we'll just go in Cafalfo's backyard and
just bogart his house. Hey, we're here. We're gonna shoot.
Yeah.
I heard you heard that, Cafalfo.
If you don't know what Cafalfo is, then you just don't watch the show.
Yeah, you need to watch the show more often because he's a very special human being.
That he is. And he will take care of you for a lifetime, indeed.
Attorney for a lifetime.
Attorney for a lifetime. Well, I think that's all the time we got for this week, Ryan. As always,
good night, America.